Hi, I'm Holly Harrison and I'm a composer from Sydney, Australia, and this week I'm composer in residence with Purdue Bands.
And hello everyone, my name is Dr. Lucas Petersen. I'm on faculty here with Purdue Bands Orchestras, and I'm the conductor of Collegiate Band I that will be doing the world premiere of Holly's Big Things.
So my musical voice takes in a whole range of styles from rock, metal, jazz, funk, hip-hop. But this time with Big Things, I was trying to distill that a little bit more into 3 discrete movements. So Pounce is a single movement work and it's perhaps organised in a more mosaic way. But this time with Big Things, I was attempting to make them more discrete, more disparate in that sense. In movement 1, for example, there's a lot of syncopated offbeat rhythms, and I think that really harnesses that viscerality that I associate with rock music and also funk music as well. There's a lot of interlocking rhythms, and with a background as a drummer, or specifically a rock drummer, I like to imagine the way that perhaps low instruments and high instruments can perhaps mirror that interaction between like a bass drum and a snare drum, or a bass drum and a hi-hat. I like to think about it locking together like that. And then in the second movement, Big Boots, I think of that as that's a real bass feature, and I think that has moments of whimsy in there. It's meant to be somewhat humorous because we don't always think of bass instruments as being perhaps as, how should I put it, perhaps as obvious a solo voice as, say, like a clarinet or a trumpet, and that movement's my attempt to really give those bass instruments something to dig into and perhaps bring a bit of grit and a bit of chewed. And I really associate that with rock, funk and metal in that sense. And actually, I should say, the very end of that movement, we kind of get that rock sort of metal breakdown when everybody's in rhythmic unison there. And then in the third movement, I think of that as kind of a little bit of a departure from perhaps what my other music sounds like. It's pushing in more of a lyrical direction, and I kind of feel that, like, perhaps in a strange way, that goes back to my trumpet roots a little bit, of thinking of a more singular lyrical line. But ultimately, these lines give way to a more triumphant, powerful sound, showing 2 contrasting sides of what I like to think of as the heart of band itself. A lot of joy. I think of it as quite a joyous piece. I'd like the listener or audience member to feel as though they can move in their seat, perhaps imagining like a flash mob commute in the city. I'd like to think sort of kinetic energy. So joyous energy and lots of colour.